Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media, and that's video games, movies, TV shows. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. I am Mode Poupée, your resident fabricant and commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend LADI. LADI, how you doing this evening?
And I'm great. Just been of course, watching Vinland Saga. Haven't been able to play Resident Evil in a while. But I gained a hater, by the way.
You
Gained
gained
a hater.
gained a hater. You must be doing
Yeah,
something right then.
a guy on Instagram messaged me randomly last night talking about just randomly saying my art sucks. I stole all my music and I'm unoriginal. And I was just like, what? Then he complained to Instagram. Instagram blocked all of my videos, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll just re-upload." But then I saw the videos they blocked. For some of the videos, literally where it's not using many music, it's literally me playing a video game, and I was like, "No." I messaged Instagram, and they re-put it up, and I put it on my story, and my channel went kind sort of viral. I had like 200 people look at my story, like sending me messages saying I'm following you just to piss off this guy. And I'm like, see, this is what happens when you gain a hater. So I thank you, dear hater. If you're watching this supercast, you fuel all of us.
I can't wait till we get haters. That'll be cool. I can't. I honestly maybe we have to get over 200 subscribers. So if you guys want us to have resident haters, subscribe to the channel so we can get more people to care about enough about this to not touch grass and instead bother us. You know what? On a on an unrelated nerd note, we are both bad nerds because we have not seen the Super Mario Brothers movie yet, but we're gonna get on that this coming week. Too busy with all this superhero stuff, y'all. It's a big week for news. Well, I won't say big week for news, but there's a lot of stuff been going on last week. Not the least of which is, and we're gonna talk about this and kind of review it later at the end of the episode, but the teaser trailer for the Marvels, which comes out all the way in November. So I don't know. They decided to tease it for some reason, but we're here for it. But before that, we got some news to talk about. Like Chris Hemsworth is reportedly making a change to his professional career. What is it and why? James Mangold going over to DC. What's he gonna be? What's he gonna be writing and or directing? Speaking of DC, we found out a confirmation from James Gunn about when we can expect the first couple projects from DC Studios, and also James Gunn kind of makes a comment about a potential Marvel and DC crossover movie. Over at Marvel, we have some insider reports about when we can expect to see the Echo series. Quantum Mania is coming to home video, but it might surprise you where it's not going. Something about Marvel's Mephisto. Is the Mephisto special that we talked about possibly coming? And we're going to talk about Wakanda Forever and whether or not it was profitable. Hint, it was, but just by how much. So all that plus the Marvels trailer. So Lottie, we got a bunch to get through. You ready, man?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So Chris Hemsworth, we all know him. He is Thor. His latest thing was, Thor: Love and Thunder. Maybe not the best received, but I really like the movie. I'm a big fan of Chris Hemsworth in general. But there was this, out of the blue for me at least, news about Chris Hemsworth dialing back the amount of acting gigs he's going to be taking. And it appears to be because I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you watched this or have seen it on Disney Plus. But he has that around the world, Chris Hemsworth show, right? kind of a reality show for National Geographic. And apparently, he found out on one episode, they did some kind of DNA testing or whatever. He found out that he is, he has a pretty decent chance of developing Alzheimer. Um, and so I guess apparently he's kind of pulling back on that in order to spend time with family in case that happens. So Lottie, I mean, gosh, that's some weird and crazy and like also unfortunate like news. And it seems like Hemsworth maybe we may see him less on screen. What do you think about this development?
Man, man, as somebody I used to date a woman that worked in she used to work at a Alzheimer's home, and man, it's it's probably the scariest disease, just not for yourself but also for your family, because we all know cancer and all these other diseases suck, but at least when you passed, your family and you will know who you are. Imagine passing not knowing who you are, and you don't even know your family. That is a scary, scary, scary thing. It's in my opinion the scariest disease that I will take cancer all day every day over Alzheimer's. Like I would, just being honest. And it's just, man, I hate it. I hate that this is something that he could experience in life, but I'm also happy for him that he's taking this, you know, pretty well, and he's doing the right decision, in my opinion, to cut down on the roles that he will subsequently do. Because Chris Hemsworth, in my opinion, could, if this never happened, he probably would have probably would have ended up as an S tier actor because he could play in so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's pretty much going to limit his stuff to maybe, you know, if he feels like he likes the next script for Thor, he'll be back. Of course, Distracted too. It just things that he probably like. I think now he's probably only going to do things that he truly is. He feels that he'll have fun doing.
Right.
And good on you, Chris Hemsworth. I pray to God that you never even catch even even the slightest bit of Alzheimer's, where even you could still function, but some days you'll just forget where the hell you are. I hope that you never ever experience that. But if you do, we're all here praying for you, and we just hope that you and your family can enjoy as much time together.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I mean, I understand this is, it's a possibility. It's not a foregone conclusion or anything like that. But to be perfectly honest, I'm all for it. Like, he's already given us plenty. Family is very important and wanting to spend time and have the quality time. And the other thing is, I mean, what else do you work for except to like be able to, live a good life, and like he's got kids and wife, he's happily married and all that. I'm all for that. And the other thing people don't really realize about being a movie an actor, especially an actor of his caliber, he spends a lot of time not at home, like a lot of time not at home for filming any of the months at a time, just not in Australia, not around his kids. He can't just pick the kids up and have them follow him around. And Thor Love and Thunder actually was a really awesome experience, I think, for him, because they filmed it almost entirely in Australia, so his family was able to be there, and in fact his daughter was in the movie. So I hate that this is a possibility, but also just like he's doing the best thing for him. So I'll never say that that's a bad thing. So we just hope that it doesn't come to pass, but if it does, that he's able to live comfortably. So I guess we'll follow up on that if and when we get more information. Lottie, let's talk about DC. Man, I don't know about you, but DC is like, they got me hyped right now. I'm not even kidding. They haven't done anything except announce stuff, but I'm getting hyped. And James Gunn is one of the main reasons why I'm getting hyped, because he just, you know, we saying like, man, he just, well, he needs to get off Twitter and just work and like stay away from all the trolls and haters. But if he did that, we wouldn't get cool little confirmations of things like this. James Mangold, he is confirmed that James Mangold is writing at this time. He is writing a Swamp Thing, the Swamp Thing movie, and possibly, and he's also a director, so he's possibly going to direct also. Now, Lottie, do you know who James Mangold is? Like,
I just looked him up and I saw one movie, and that one movie alone is enough. And I don't need to talk about anything else. It's Logan. This
Yep.
man made Logan, and I don't need anything else.
He's made many other things besides that. One of my favorite movies of the last few years, Ford v Ferrari, absolutely awesome. Yes, he made Logan. So, like, y'all, the guy that made Logan is writing and probably is going to direct the Swamp Thing movie. Do you need it? And it's confirmed. Like, apparently he kind of like, you know, maybe spoke out of turn on an interview, on a red carpet interview, and then James Gunn confirmed it, and that he was one of the first people they called to talk about doing Swamp Thing. And apparently Mangold is a big Swamp Thing guy also. So, Lottie, us nerds, we keep winning. We just keep winning. The guy that made Logan is going to make Swamp Thing. Like, is this autumn? What does this do to your excitement and your anticipation for this movie?
This is gonna be. This movie is gonna be like. It's going to be because everyone called Logan the mutant Last of Us, because you've seen the Last of Us TV show. Now you can see why people call Logan the mutant Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
I could see some type of thing where it's not Last of Us directly, where it's a Swamp Thing and protecting a child, but I could see like this. It doesn't have to be this super ultra like over the top thing. It could be like a actual really good story that just engrosses us. And that's one thing that I think DC should start, like, that's how they kind of like set themselves apart from Marvel, cuz we had the Joker, a little bit of like what the Batman was like. It doesn't have to be this over the top action. It could be this really good story of this character that we absolutely get just captured by, and and at the end of the movie we don't know if we should cry, be mad, or be happy. We just like, I don't know how the fuck I should feel right now. And
Yeah.
that is what I want, and I'm happy. And I've talked about this with you probably either like last year, mid last year, that DC should do this. And it seems like James Gunn, who has put us through the House of Pain, is going to start doing this in the DC universe, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, and among many things in interviews, he said, he's like, yeah, flash and bangs, that's cool and everything, but like, I'm all about the character and the emotional storytelling and everything. And like, we know that. And again, James Mangold, we already know he's about that. What I do also want to, kind of remind everyone else and remind you is that Swamp Thing will be stylistically and, tonally different than what you would expect from the DC universe, because at its heart, it is a supernatural, horror tinged kind of body horror thing, right? It's about a dude who was murdered and died in a swamp, and then his spirit sort of revives into this like plant guy that's got all these plant powers and like sort of a guardian of the green and everything like that. There's body horror, supernatural stuff going in. That is not Superman. That is not the Authority. That is not, Waller. That's not Peacemaker, right? But it's all taking place in the same universe. And I think that James Mangold, he might be the perfect guy to direct this movie, to write this movie, because he's already proven that he can take, he basically did Old Man Logan maybe the only way we'll ever see it, right? And
Yes.
he did justice to Old Man Logan in a way that, it wasn't the exact same thing, but it was the spirit of it. And I think that we can see, him taking it again. He's a big fan of the character too. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what they do with it. But I mean, this is years away from now. We're talking about probably 26 before we see something. So anyway, as more things come out, we'll talk about it then. Continue on with DC. Speaking of, James Gunn also confirmed when we can expect to see the first DC universe, or DC Studios DCU properties, and that's gonna be 2 years from now, because he confirmed that. We all know that the Superman Legacies, that's the first DC Studios movie that's going to come out. But he also said Creature Commandos is going to come out on TV, as presumably HBO Max, before that does. And we know also that Superman Legacy is slated for that summer. I think it's specifically it's going to be July. It says July 11th, 2025. So in a couple years, we are going to see the very first outings of the DC Studios and James Gunn and Peter Safran. So, LADI, God, is this going to be a hard way? Is this going to be hard to wait to get to that?
Man. Uh 2 years. 2 years is long enough to make you not think about it, but it's close enough that it'll be right around. It's like it will show up. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I feel like, yeah. So okay, Superman until 20. It's been like almost 10. This be exactly 12 years since the last time we got a solo Superman movie. Man, we Superman fans have suffered. Honestly, man, at this point, just make it good. I'll wait till 26 if it takes it that long.
Yeah, but we're getting Creature Commandos first. That's animated, so they're if they haven't started like animating it yet, they're definitely right. They're writing the scripts now, and they're probably getting the storyboards out by the end of the year, because if it's any decent length of time, length of episodes. And can we assume, let's just assume 22 to 25-minute episodes. But if they have like, 12, maybe even, to 15 or so episodes, they need a good year and a half lead time to get that out. So they're probably working on that right now. I'm look, I'm the sort of person, like, I want it to be ready when it's ready. So I'm not terribly bothered by the fact that it's 2 years out. And also, look, they more or less said that already. But it is good to know that they are firm on that date. Yeah, but that James Gunn, he's got to be confident, and probably he's his final edit on the Superman script and everything. It's probably more than likely is completely locked and everything like that, because they have a firm date for that, and that's like literally 2 years from now. We know filming's probably going to take like 4 or 5 months, and then they need about a year and a half, 18 months ish for post. So probably they're going to be gearing up to actually start filming probably I don't want to say towards the end of the year, but I would not be surprised if like early next year they're filming, or late this year they're filming. So anyway, good to know these things, and we'll keep you guys up to date as we learn more information about Creature Commandos and Superman Legacy. Staying on with James Gunn, like, this guy's, he just loves to give us more stuff to talk about. I thought this would be fun, even though I don't know if I believe any of this is ever going to happen. But James Gunn was asked about, like, now that you're CEO and you're friends with Kevin Feige, are we ever going to get a Marvel DC crossover? And his reply was, "Yeah, I mean, now that I'm here, sure, it's much more likely." And he literally said, "Hey, we've had like little light talks about like the possibility sometime in the future, but we got to get our house together first. You know, we got to establish ourselves first. But after that, you know, who knows?" So Lottie, I first of all, I kind of love this. I love the fact that literally James Gunn and Kevin Feige are friends and they talk, and you know, they kind of, you know, the fact that they actually have sat and kind of just been like, hey, wouldn't this be cool? What do you think? Maybe we could. But James Gunn's literally like, we don't have a universe right now. Let us get some stuff out first, and then maybe we can talk about it. So Lottie, you know, considering all that, like, you know, are you excited? Are you excited for the prospect? But also, what percentage chance do you think that this actually will ever happen?
I'll give it a 0.1%. Listen, Moneybags Mickey. That shit ain't happening. Moneybag Mickey. Listen, it, it's not happening. Like, they barely were able to get Sony to work with them to make Spider-Man. Get DC to get DC to work with them when they don't even own the the any of the IP at all. Nah, because then this, you know, when you have two completely different companies working on two different IPs, and it's like two completely separate companies. They don't even have the same parent company. I mean, who's gonna direct it? Who's going to be the
I mean,
actors?
that is so far in the future. Like, when I say that this is so far in the future, I'm literally saying that I don't even believe that Kevin Feige will still be at Marvel Studios when this would make any sense. Like, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, by the time that the DC universe has been established well enough to actually think, hey, maybe we should have this crossover now. Kevin Feige's probably going to be, you know, somewhere else. He's going to be doing something else that's not Marvel related. So I get your I get your skepticism about that. But would you want to see it? Is this something you would want to see?
Hmm. Ye- It's all I would. It's a yes, and it's almost because here's my thing with the Marvel and DC thing. That when it comes to the DC and Marvel, more of their popular characters are almost street level. You know what I mean? And then you have Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash. Uh, to see them on the screen with Captain America and Iron Man, it kind of would not feel right. But it's something that they could do. Like, you know how what is that video game? How they
Injustice, maybe.
Injustice, the Wonder Pill. The Wonder Pill gives you Superman powers for the day. You know what I mean? They could explain it like that. Or
Wait, it's superhero Viagra. Is that
yeah,
what?
it's like literally it's called the Wonder Pill, and it gives you the power to withstand Superman. It gives you basically turns you into a Kryptonian, and it's actually in DC lore.
Nice.
In new DC lore in the comic books now, the Wonder Pill. I think Lex Luthor created it or something.
It'd have been cooler if it turned you into the Wonder Twins, but that's just me.
But it's like, yeah, that's the thing where it's like it will be like, honestly, it will. I would actually enjoy it to see maybe Thanos and Darkseid will fuse together somehow to make like Dark Thanos or something. I don't know.
Or
Uh,
yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I don't think we'll ever see it. Like, I'd go. Obviously, I'd go see it. I just don't see any. I don't see any upside to it in the long run. Uh, it's a gimmick, and I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want them to be gimmicks. I don't know if I want DC and Marvel to be going down the gimmick pathway. That's probably an indication that they've run out of ideas or they're desperate. So, I mean, I prefer that they. I guess I'd prefer they didn't. Just let's just, or if they do a crossover, it be something really limited, like not everyone gathering together like Infinity War, but like Spider-Man, and Batman or something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or just Kamala Khan, she runs into the Teen Titans. Something, I'd be cool with that, but not a big, expensive ass, huge blockbuster that just doesn't do anything that lasts in the movies. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, and I know you would think that I would be the guy that'd be like, hell yeah, all day, every day. But no, I actually want the story to fucking make sense and to be good. So now you can't just throw a bunch of characters on screen and think that I'm just gonna be down with it. So anyway, it's something interesting to talk about as with James Gunn over there. So I doubt we'll talk about it again, but if it does come up again, we will share more news. Moving over to Marvel, we got all Marvel news for the rest of this. There's a rumor that Echo maybe I was surprised to hear this, that Echo may actually be premiering this fall. And the reason why I say I'm surprised about this because of all the rumors about how they had to retool it and there was problems and whatever, and they got pushed back and all that good stuff. But there's a couple articles on the Direct talking about how it could actually come out this fall. And of course we've heard that Daredevil's going to be in it and all that. So LADI, I mean, again, we're going to do percentages again, based purely on what we've talked about in the last 6 to 8 months about this show. And also based on the fact that Marvel is kind of pumping the brakes on their content. What do you think? Is this likely? What's your percentage confidence that this is actually going to happen this fall?
30%. And this is what I need to say. Marvel, do not release this TV show this fall. Don't do it. Do not do it.
Well, why
reason,
not?
Because it just wouldn't make sense with what is coming out with everything. Like, it just will not make sense. Because you got to think what Marvel related is coming out this year.
For the rest of the year? Yeah.
No, just this year. Ant-Man, Secret Invasion, Loki, the Marvels. What do all of those have in common? It's some form of like space, cosmic, dimensional type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You release a TV show about a deaf chick fighting thugs. People be like, what? It just don't do it.
It could be a palate cleanser from all of that that cosmic shenanigans. Also, but you forget one thing. Daredevil Born Again is coming out next year, right? And this is directly related to that. And I can tell you, you may be like, well, how much confidence do they have in Echo, right? Because of whatever news reports and all that. No one is hugely into her because Hawkeye didn't exactly do gangbusters. It was good. It didn't do gangbusters, but people are aware of her. But I'm telling you, they are gonna push the shit out of Daredevil Born Again. I think they are gonna do a huge marketing push, and I think they're gonna make Daredevil kind of be the centerpiece of their street level things. So a good way to sort of get people excited for that is, we already know he's going to show up in Echo, right? We know that. Is to have this Echo show, and hopefully it's really good, and have him show up and like have some kind of important role to get people hyped up for Born Again, which I believe they are going to make a big deal out of. And so I'm not going to say 50-50, but I will say I'll give it a 45% chance of actually coming out this fall. And contingent on if we hear more news about scheduling or problems in production. But I think 45% sounds about right, just so that Daredevil will get a good bump. Next, maybe May or June or whenever they're planning to release it. So that
And see, and that's where I'm saying that I wouldn't release it in the fall. I'll release it in the beginning of the year next year.
mm-hmm.
Like I will, if you're going to do it, release it a couple of months before Daredevil comes out. I I don't see the point of releasing a show and then you don't see the follow up until 6 months later.
Well, but the reason why I say that is just because they're already spreading out the movies. We're already going from, instead of 4 a year to 3 to maybe 2 or 3 a year, and I think similarly 3 may be the limit of TV shows per year, right? And this year it's low, right? For sure, it's Loki and Secret Invasion. So that third, like if they try to squeeze it in, between Halloween and Christmas, that might be very ideal to set up for 5 months later. We at the it ends like maybe in this early December, so 5 or 6 months later we get Daredevil, and it'll be relatively fresh, I think. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that plays out, and if we do get a confirmation on that, we'll let you guys know. So staying on Marvel, we got some good news, I guess, if you hadn't seen it or if you want to see it again, for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's coming to digital very, very fast, I'd say. Well, relative to most Marvel movies. It's coming to digital on April the 18th. So that's next week. But guess where it's not going to be?
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah, where Ant-Man and the Wasp, where is it not going to be playing?
Disney Plus.
It's at Disney Plus. And I will tell you, I think this is directly the result of Bob Iger being back.
And also, it's probably Mickey being a little petty. You motherfuckers didn't want to go watch this damn movie. You ain't gonna get it on fucking on Disney Plus. You're gonna have to buy the DVD, motherfucker.
He wants that VOD, that sweet VOD money. And don't sleep. By the way, don't sleep on VOD. Y'all think y'all might think like, ooh, who's gonna pay $20 to see that at home? A lot of people will, actually. Alex, there's that, VOD matters, and I'll explain it later when we're talking about Wakanda Forever. But don't sleep on that. There are going to be people that are going to be like, hey, I want to see this movie. I didn't want to go to the movies to see it, but I will totally pay $20 to rent it so we can watch it, at the house. And this, to me, this makes all the sense in the world. One of the things that Bob Chapek fucked up pretty terribly was this whole only on Disney Plus thing, right? Like, people got used to being like, all right, I'm not gonna see that in the theater, and it'll run in a few months. In a few months, I will see it on Disney Plus, right? But you know who didn't? The studio that didn't do that shit. I mean, they do, but they not on everything. When Top Gun Maverick, do you remember when Top Gun Maverick came out? It came out like fucking May last year, right?
Yeah,
it came out in May, right?
Yeah.
And when it hit Paramount Plus?
It was like
in December.
Yeah.
And before that, it hit digital like a month or two before that. You literally could not watch Top Gun Maverick on, quote, free streaming, but on a streaming service that you didn't have to pay extra for until December. So, and they sent up there counting all the dollars, right? They're making all that money. And that's happening with many other movies. Not every movie, Because some movies, they know, hey, the theatrical release, that's all we're going to get. We're going to get in a few weeks' time. That's all the money it's going to really realistically make. So let's make it, let's put it onto Peacock, or let's put it onto Paramount Plus, or let's put it onto Hulu or whatever, as kind of like a value add to that service. So, and I like Peacock's really, and Paramount Plus are really big on this. Smaller movies, they have 3-4 weeks, get their money. All right, go watch it on Showtime or Paramount Plus or Peacock. And so I think Disney's about to start doing this. I think they're tired of spending a shit ton of money on these high CGI movies, and then people just being like, nah, I'm gonna wait for it. It'll be on Disney Plus in 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, and then they get no money from that, right? So I mean, LADI, am I off base here? I feel like this makes sense.
I mean, me, in my opinion, I wouldn't put anything on Disney Plus until 3 quarters after the movie came out. Like literally, like 9 months. Like I don't see the point of putting anything on streaming until you fully believe you got everything out of it.
Yeah,
Real talk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's up with where's Moneybags Mickey? Moneybags Mickey should be ringing every last drop, every last dime out of these movies until they just can't, literally can't get another drop out of it. And then wait a minute, and then put it on TBS and TNT and get that revenue, that's broadcast revenue, right? And then maybe at the last, maybe like you said, 9 months later, maybe you can start watching it for free.
Exactly.
I mean,
like that. It's sort of like with freaking HBO and the Batman. That was $1 billion movie, and they just like, nope, kneecap it.
Yep, fucked it up.
They kneecapped that movie.
Because I was like, I thought we were about making money. You don't make money putting shit on streaming services. Like that. Let's just dispel that. You have a certain number of subscribers, they pay per month. You got all this password sharing and shit going on. You don't make any money off of that. That's why Warner Brothers is sitting up there farming all their shit out to Tubi and fucking Roku and literally anybody that wants to take it. Amazon, because they trying to make that money back. So, I mean, this makes sense to me, especially because Quantumania, they didn't do great. I don't even think it's broken 500 million yet. And so they need every bit they can get to make it make sense, make it profitable. So sorry everybody, you're gonna have to wait. I suspect, let's see, it's coming to April. I suspect June is when Quantumania will make it to Disney Plus. So we'll see. Let you guys know when we find out about it. Speaking of Disney Plus, and also speaking of Marvel still, LADI, this is just kind of a quick follow-up on something we were talking about. Remember we were saying like, oh, what are these specials, these Disney Plus specials that kind of like Werewolf by Night that we might get? And one of them was Mephisto. And it seems at least that this rumor is just that. It's just a rumor. Just like Mephisto has been a myth and a legend and kind of a byword in the MCU ever since WandaVision. He is also just a rumor when it comes to having his own special. Because apparently, according to the direct, it's not a thing. It's not a real thing. It's just people talking. So LADI, I think we both said that was bullshit, right? I think we both said it was bullshit.
That's a deep cut. That is one of those deep cuts that you go like, why?
Literally, why? Like, what's the story? I'm a demon. Like, oh, okay. We got 30 more minutes. You want to do anything else besides be a demon? Oh man, I would love. I mean, I'd be down for it. Sacha Baron Cohen hasn't been confirmed to be Mephisto, but if he is, I'm down for it. I just don't. I'm just well, why? I just really want to know why would that be a thing you want to do? I mean, you're gonna spend, 80-90 million dollars to make this thing that won't make any money, and no one will know who the fuck he is. So I'm just saying. And also, you get to hear all of the whining ass parent groups talking about Disney promoting devil worship. I mean, come on, just it was never a thing. Let's just call it like that. It was never a thing. So good to see. I mean, maybe it'll end up being a thing, and I'll be wrong, but I doubt it. So if it does turn out, we'll let you guys know. And finally, the final bit of news before the trailer reaction. Wakanda Forever. Big fucking surprise. I already said this. I've said this repeatedly for like months on end. It turned a profit. LADI, I know that the usual suspects out there were probably trying to spin it like, oh, it only made $50 million. It's a huge failure, gigantic failure. It didn't make $1 billion, so it's a failure. LADI, I wish I had a button or there was a command on my computer that would just, if I pressed it, that person's computer or laptop or phone would reach out and slap the shit out of them. Because in what world is making $850 million a fucking failure? Like, in what world? Help me out, LADI. Where is that a failure?
The only movie that making $800 million would have been a failure was Avatar 2, because its budget was like $500 million, and that movie needed to make $1 billion to make money. But this movie's budget was like what, 500 million?
And there's a break. I mean, you can see there's a breakdown. The director, kind of looks at this report. The breakdown, I think it comes out to like $200 million to make it, which we talked about this ad nauseum last year. $200 million to make, $200 million budget, cool. And remember I said, like, I always say 2.5 to 3 times, right? So
yeah, 600 million.
They estimate the overall cost to make, market, distribute, all the costs that go into the actual, the cost that they accrued to make this thing amounted to something like $491 million. So yeah. I said 200 million budget, 2.5. That's pretty much on in line, right?
Yeah.
The actual, the box office for this movie, the total box office for it was 859 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, like, Disney gets about will get about half of that. So, $450 million. So 450. Oh, that's less than 2.5, right? Well, you also consider the fact, that, and I didn't know this, but this was kind of amazing to me, that it also made 155 mil in VOD. Remember, I said I was going to talk about that. The VOD was 100, or what they call it, home entertainment revenue, and 170 million on TV stream. TV streaming is the VOD stuff, right? So, all told, 491 mil total to make, advertise, distribute, and a total profit, a total revenue on it of that Disney itself gets of 750 million for a profit of $259 million. Now, there ain't nobody in Hollywood is gonna look at that and be like, damn, they sucked. Oh man, only $259 million in profit. That's trash. Why didn't they make $1 billion? Why didn't they make 800 million in profit? That's just the level of foolishness we have to kind of deal with, because if you made your money back and you made money on top of it, you won, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but I didn't expect it to be 259 million. That's great,
yeah, that's
and
good money.
especially considering the situation. Like, yeah, people. Yes, no, COVID's not as big a deal. I get that, but you know what? Chadwick Boseman not being there anymore. That's a thing. Phase four being, you know, much less popular than before. That's a thing. People's viewing habits, movie going habits being much different and not back to the way they were back in 2019. That's a thing. So I this is a win. I mean, all right, Lottie, I'm off my soapbox. They made $259 million in profit, Lottie. It's surprise, not surprise. And how can we tell these haters to go touch grass?
I mean, pretty much this movie made $1 billion. If you just if you really think about it, I mean, it sold $1 billion. If you take the 859 plus the 155 plus 170, that's over $1 billion. It made $1 billion. You know what I mean? That's it made its money. You know, it definitely didn't make as much as Black Panther one, but hey, it made 250 $259 million in profit. That's money that's going into their pockets. Because, boy, I'm gonna just be honest, Lord, they need it. Because, man, woof, mm, and
I
Ant-Man
well,
though.
I would say, yeah, Ant Man's a failure. It's no, but it is an MCU failure. Keep that in mind. For the MCU, it is a failure, but for a movie in general, it's probably it. At the end of the day, it's probably gonna. It might break even. I think it hasn't made 500 million box office, but it hasn't gone on VOD yet, and it hasn't gone to streaming yet. Right? It hasn't. The Blu-ray hasn't come out yet.
That
So
is true.
when all of that's said and done, it might break even, which for Marvel movies is a failure. I get it, but any other movie, you'd be like, hell yeah, right? But yes, you're right. They do they do want to see those dollar signs. Moneybags Mickey doesn't. They're not really happy about Ant Man. But I bet you one thing, it probably looks over. It probably looks back at Shazam too and like, you know what? Y'all didn't do y'all didn't do that bad actually. Now that we put it in perspective, we're kind of doing okay. So just let's just settle. Let's put all this shit to rest. Black Panther was a win. It was profitable. They're definitely gonna do a third one as long as Ryan Coogler wants to make one. And so go die mad, you salty bitches, you fucking haters, because Black Panther is definitely did what it was supposed to. So, all right, that's all the news. But we are gonna end this episode by talking about a brand new trailer, a teaser trailer for I say the favorite movie of every member of the fandom menace, every toxic fan ever. This is their favorite franchise in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that of course is Captain Marvel 2, aka The Marvels. Lottie, this trailer hit. I have many things to say, but I want to hear from you first, sir. What did you think about this teaser trailer?
First of all, when I saw this trailer, I was like halfly confused because I was like, oh, wait, is it what's the name supposed to be fighting scrolls? When I was like, well, is this before or after that? Probably after. But then I said, well, Marvel probably realizes that people might not watch freaking Secret Invasion, even though it might be a good show. They're like, we might as well put out this trailer, and people might not watch Secret Invasion, so let's just go like, yeah, he's just out there hanging out. So the trailer seems like a pretty like. It seems like they're going more. It's completely different than what the first time we saw Captain Marvel, the movie Captain Marvel was a little bit more of a serious tone. Same thing with WandaVision. It seems like they're going with the Miss Marvel, like more it seems more like they're going with the comedy, and it's they're going with the ragtag team effect where probably Miss Marvel's like is like, oh my God, I'm happy to be here. And then Monica Rambeau's like the big sister, and what's her name is Captain Marvel's like, I
I
don't
have to
want to.
interrupt. Do you know exactly what the dynamic is? It's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles from the Sonic movies. Tell me I'm wrong about that. They just think about what you saw in the trailer and what was the vibe between them.
You
And
know what? You're not wrong.
I'm there for it. Let me just say I'm there for it. But anyway, you go. Continue, sir.
Yeah, she's like, because we all know what's her name. Because, I was just talking about this with one of my friends. Because one guy was like, why are they doing that? They can't use their power separate from each other. I said they kind of have to do that. They're like, why? Because I said Captain Marvel doesn't like working with people, so they have to force her. If
Mm-hmm.
she goes too far away from them, pew, they'll switch places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're forcing them to work together. So I was like, yeah, that is it's a very like clever, decent way of forcing her to work with Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau, because I bet Monica Rambeau's like, you are somewhat of a B word.
Well, and remember, she's kind of got a bit of a beef with Carol too. Remember
Yeah.
last time she talked when in WandaVision, she did not seem particularly fond of Carol.
Yeah, because
So
she just Carol is one of those people that it's almost like she was like she of course she wasn't, but you ever heard of those people that used to be addicts and they recovered? So instead of they replace something else with the drug, and they're never home, like they're always working or
mhm.
always working out. It's sort of like her, like Captain Marvel refuses to go home because she just doesn't want to deal with her past. She refuses to, spend time with the little girl that she swore was her like God's mom. I mean, like her goddaughter or
Right.
something like that. And it's just
And I mean we don't know. She also takes being you know she she destroyed the Kree, the Supreme Intelligence, whatever, and now she's sort of taken on herself to defend the galaxy or whatever. So she's been gone for 20 years. Um, I have to say I love the hell out of it. I've watched this a few times. I watched people's reactions. I think this trailer is the best. It's fucking awesome. And look, I'll admit, I'm all in on Miss Marvel. I love that show, and it is just great. I love Aman Vellani as Kamala Khan. Yeah, they're leaning into that, but I don't think I see less of. I don't see so much that they're trying to redo the Miss Marvel thing. I think that may be the way the trailer was slanted, but really more I see that this is. You know what this is? This is Peter Parker stowing away on the spaceship and going into outer space with Tony Stark and Doctor Strange. That is the dynamic you should be looking at. Not, it's not she's just the young kid that's just kind of fangirling. She really is Peter Parker in that situation. She's just fucking happy to be there. There is so much shit in that trailer that I have questions about, but all the questions lead me to good things, like Goose. Why was Goose and Carol running around in a Kree ship? What were they doing? You know, who is this badass Kree? It looks like an accuser who can fight three Marvels at the same time and not get obliterated. Who is that? Who's that woman? What's Nick Fury got to do? Nick Fury is just looking like he's, you know, he's had enough of this shit. He's just like this. I'm tired of this flirking. All these flirking things happening on this ship. And Iman Vellani's perfect. Like, she is exactly what I want out of Miss Marvel. Kamala. Literally meeting her hero. And Carol just been like, we're not a team, and Monica been like, we're not a team. I'm like, come on, we're totally a team. You guys stop pretending like we're not. And then that fight sequence that they were having, where they were switching around, that's awesome. Like, I don't know what the hell this is about, except that it's going to be in space. There's going to be Kree. There's going to be like this weird, this kind of weird, like, road trip into space thing, and the Khan family's going to be in. I don't need anything else. That's what I'm trying to say. This looks awesome, and I can't wait to see it. So, how dare you release this all the way here in April, and this shit ain't coming out to November? That's my only problem I have with it.
And that's where I go back to, like, you would think they'll do this after Secret Invasion, because we all know in Secret Invasion, what's his name is Nick Fury's John Wick. So
Yeah.
to go from, we saw a trailer, like one person said Nick Fury went from being John Wick to an upset they said an upset uncle.
I love it. Well, I think one thing's clear is that in Secret Invasion, he's kind of a persona non grata. And I think that the end of Secret Invasion is going to see him back at the head of, if not S.H.I.E.L.D., or something that resembles S.H.I.E.L.D. That's whatever Saber is. I think it's pretty clear that he's going to clear his name in Secret Invasion. And he's going to be back to kind of protecting the world from external threats. And so I think his tone was perfect. Like I said, what he said, the uncle that's just like tired of this shit. That's pretty much, I see that. I'm just excited, man. It's about time I saw a trailer that just made me just like, yes, just say out loud, yes, that's the shit I want. And I got what I wanted. So, man, I can't believe it's November. Damn it. Like I said, how dare you make me this excited so early in the year? So anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on that. And that's all of our thoughts on all of our topics this week. So what did you guys think about what we had to say? Did you agree, disagree? Did we miss something? Whatever you're thinking, get down to the comment section and leave your thoughts there. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do us a favor. Hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff helps with the channel so that more people see it and see our videos. And of course, I can't do this by myself. I need LADI's help with all his insight on these comic book things. So, LADI, where can they reach you on social media?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram, which is Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN, and of course my YouTube channel, which is Kinihun25. If you're a hater out there, you're welcome to come to my channel and hate on me. I need more haters to bring me up and elevate me higher into the status of YouTube and Instagram. So please, any type of comment, if it's hateful or not, it is all welcome.
Yeah, so if you guys want to go hate on LADI, go check out his social media and leave negative comments. All that good stuff. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining us. I can't believe it's episode 97 of the Supercast. Come back next week. I got plenty more to talk about, trust me, because this comic book movies and TV shows, all that stuff, it just don't stop. Until then, I've been Mo de Poupée, resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend LADI. we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.